everyone. Welcome to the Indigenous Youth Entrepreneurs Cafe's very first podcast series, Our Story. My name is Chandra Tripura. I'm the founder of Hilizo Center. This podcast series is a very significant part of the grand project, empowering Indigenous youth entrepreneurship through capacity building and networking in Asia, implemented by Hilizo Center with the support from UNESCO and Asia Indigenous Peoples Pact. We're very happy to launch the first episode of the podcast series with two promising Indigenous young entrepreneurs in Asia. I'd like to welcome Dikesh Prajapati, co-founder of Doccha, and Jal Mustari, founder of Aretes Style. Thank you, Jal and Dikesh, for joining us. I can see so many amazing and interesting stuffs behind you. So how is life, Dikesh?
Hi, Chandra. Hi, Jal. Thank you so much for having us for this amazing podcast. I'm good. I'm good. Actually, it's evening. It's like 6 in Nepal right now. I'm just excited to be talking to you guys in this podcast. I wish we could have been doing this face to face, but then that's okay. This is what we're getting in. How about you, Jal? How are you doing?
Hello, everybody. Salam. I've been great, and I feel very, very, very happy that to reconnect with you. I think it's been a while, like more than a year since we've seen each other, and yeah, like Dikesh, I it could have been better if we can do this offline, but because of this COVID thing. And I'm also happy that slowly our economy is opening and the Philippines restrictions are being lifted. And I'm just looking forward to do everything offline and reconnect with people and see physical people. So yeah.
Exactly. It's been almost 2 years. We met for the first time.
Yeah, it's been almost 2 years. And it's really amazing to see you again, right?
Yeah. And
what about you, Jana? How are you holding up?
Yeah, I'm great. Life is going really great, but this online stuff, that it's really making us, it makes us sometimes frustrated. But the good thing is that we are keeping in touch through these online platforms. Yeah,
we're surviving.
Yeah, exactly.
No, we're surviving. That's the important thing now. We need most. So I really want to know what is the reason behind, what is the inspiration actually that made you entrepreneurs?
Well, the initial inspiration really of Aretes Style was to redirect the narratives among Maranaos. Maranaos is a tribe in Mindanao, where it's one of the minority tribes in the Philippines. And as you may all know, there was a siege way back in 2017, and the war really impacted the image of Maranaos, not just the image of Maranaos, but because a lot of lives were taken, a lot of properties, and of course lives also was impacted by the siege. A lot of people lost their livelihood. But aside from that, there was an ongoing stigma towards Ranaus because of the terrorist attack happened way back in 2017. And my aim is really to redirect that narrative into something good, because when you search online, the word Marawi City, you would really see the wrecks of the war. You would really see Marawi siege, and that's kind of disappointing because we have so much story to tell, and one is our crafts and our culture. And that was my initial inspiration to change the narratives of Maranaos, because we are better than the Marawi siege. But later on, I realized that I can do deeper things, like pushing for advocacies in terms of economic opportunities for mothers, and also helping in promoting the sustainable development goals, fighting for human rights, social inclusions, and other causes. So yeah, that's the beauty of social entrepreneurship.
Wonderful. That's really inspiring, Jal. What about Dikesh? What's the inspiration behind your story?
So let me start how actually Doccha started. Hi everyone. My enterprise name is Doccha. So Doccha is a shoe and accessories manufacturing company that reflects his core value of embodying identities through integrating Nepali art, culture, and tradition. So basically, Doccha started after the devastating earthquake back in 2015, when the earthquake did not just destroy houses and lives, but also it had a very bad impact on our culture that was already in decline. So so while we were doing relief work, I met quite good like-minded people, good friends during the volunteership, and that's when we were going to different parts of Nepal to uh, for the relief campaign, and that's when we realized that you know what, this we need to do something about the dying art. We could see beautiful murals that was pulled down because of the earthquake, and you could see so many um, art that was like underrepresented. And one of those days we sat down with my like-minded people, my friends back then, and we were just talking about we should do something about. I think this is the high time we work on promote like preserving, like not preserve. I wouldn't say preserving, continuing our culture and art. That's when we came up with an idea of how about we make shoes. But then like people would always ask why shoes, because those friends, we were like they are my co-founders now, like they are my business partners now, but we all had this thing in common, like we all loved shoes, and we wanted to like fuse the love with something that we wanted to protect, the art and culture. Like initially when we started talking about Doccha, we wanted to have a platform where Nepali artists who are very talented, and we have like centuries ago of traditional art, like which we wanted to put it forward to like people. And also like, you know what, like we wanted to change the mindset of like Nepali people, where they have this concept of like, just because something is made in Nepal doesn't become of like quality. And like we wanted to change that mindset as well. And like as I said, the modern youth, they are losing they're losing knowledge of their culture. So like how interesting would it be to like introduce something that's gonna do two things at one time, like first like promotion of culture, at the same time like what we want is like to have uh, people return back in our country for like job opportunity. You know what, like this is really interesting, and it's really sad at the same time that like every day, like this is the result of like, I don't know, it's back in 2014, the recorded data, like every day 1,500 youths are like migrating from Nepal for better job opportunities. And that also stuck in our head, and we wanted to return few people back in our country as well. So yeah, that's actually how Doccha initially started.
Amazing, amazing. Um, well, I guess you both are doing really great thing in terms of keeping our existence, cultural existence alive. So we know that all the business persons, they follow some strategies, right? So what strategies did you first follow or use to market your business?
I never got the chance to introduce what Aretes Style is. Aretes Style is a social enterprise that aims to craft hope and peace among internally displaced persons through creating crafts out of langkit. Langkit is our hand woven fabric, and some of it are in my background. These are balloons, one of our ways. But anyways, to answer the question, we what strategy? But first, I'm gonna talk about how I was able to like raise fund for me to push through, or get the capital for me to push through the business. I actually joined a project grant competition, and then on the first speech I was in top 11. And then after that, because of the mentors from UNDP, UNFPA, ILO, and other government organizations helped me to like really form the project, the business proposal, and we were able to step up into second place. That's how I got my business, and we started with a capital of 50,000 pesos. And later on, what strategies did we use? We actually, social media is really a game changer. We didn't have a physical store, but we actually used Instagram to promote our products, because everyone is using Instagram or social media, almost everyone in the world. And then aside from that, it really changed our enterprise when we were featured in some national publications. That's really kind of very, very helpful in terms of promoting our product. After that, we received overwhelming demands and overwhelming clients. And aside from that, that's on the technical side. But speaking about what strategies did we use, a lot. But what I'm going to highlight is of course, the story behind your product. It's really important that you're able to convey it so that people would not just buy the product, but also because they want to support your cause and the story behind it.
Exactly. I totally relate to what you're trying to say at the moment. Yeah. So like Chanda, I'll just like go and tell what did we do in the initial. So like, see, I was from IT background, and my other co-founder, he was from business background. Like he was, and then like we had other friends also. Like we had no, we just thought of like making shoe, but we had no idea how a shoe is made. Like none of us was from like a shoemaking background. We had to like intense like research. Like we went to India, we went there to because India is very near and like it's easily accessible. So we went India. We knew few shoemaking industries in India. We wanted to visit there. We were still scouring shoe factories in Nepal itself, and then like we visited quite a few workshops, actually, like factories where shoe can be made. And it's funny that we did not think about the sizes. Like that would be a problem. We started off with like just 90 pairs of shoe at the beginning, and it was back in 29th April. I still remember the date so perfectly. It was 29th April 2017 when we launched our first set of designs to very limited people. Like our only strategy was like word of mouth and friends and family for the first, because like we had not registered till then. We just wanted to know if we were just being very ambitious, or like people, we didn't know like people were gonna like our product or not. So like we just wanted to start very small. We started with 90 pairs of shoes. We had our friends and family, close friends and family, and then like from word of mouth, friends of friends, like the circle became a little bigger, and like to it was very surprising. And as I said, the sizing would have been a problem. Like we got to know like the popular sizes were like already running out of like stock, because we just had 90 pairs, and we actually sold somewhere around 15 in first 2 weeks. And that's when we thought like, hey, is this like, we were thinking, we were like, is this just support, or like really this our product has is market fit? So we kept on like getting in touch with the first customers. Like we recorded every shoe sales, and like and after 2 or 3 weeks we like personally followed them up and asked about how are you feeling wearing Doccha and everything. We wanted to like, we were collecting data and we were like launching at the same time. That's how I think like that actually paid us very well. We got the opportunity to like know about our product more, and like we started iterating already. So that was our strategy, like word of mouth, because we didn't want to go big as like we were there on social media, but with very limited people. And till now we've not even like honestly, we've not had sponsor ads or something. Like whatever is happening very organically till date. But we're focusing on expanding our market for sure, because like now we're quite confident, and like we're setting up our own factory. And then like, yeah, now we want to expand, and we want to do strategically. We've already planned. Now it's time to implement in the new future.
Well, Dikesh, you actually along with the strategies, you also mentioned about the challenges, right, that you faced
Yeah.
very beginning of your journey. So could you just tell more about your challenges that you had to face at the very beginning of your journey, and also during this COVID pandemic?
Yeah, like yes, it's quite like I'm quite happy, and like people are supposed to be happy when they love what they do, but then like challenges is something that comes along the way, and we did face like we're still facing, and we're still learning, and we're still trying to do something with. But then like if you to point out like few challenges that we faced in our early stage was like, as I said, like none of us was from like shoemaking background, so like we had to do intense research, had to visit a lot of vendors. Like we had to, because we wanted to do perfectly. Meaning like we wanted to have traditional fabrics in our shoes, and then we wanted it to be as comfortable as we can make it. So like we had to keep on like changing vendors because we didn't know how to make shoes at the time. That was one thing, like to get like skilled laborers, like skilled craftsmen, was a challenge at the beginning. But then once you were sorted out with like okay, now these are well trained now, that is, we're still working on the structure and everything, and it keeps on going. But then like we came to a point where we were confident about having the skilled labor. So like that actually went on for like first 2 years. And then the biggest challenge, like you said, like even my family were supportive, but then like there's a different story to it. Like I got my undergraduate degree in information technology, and I was working as a mobile application developer before the earthquake. But then I just quit my job and got into this shoe making business. For my family, they were like, what are you doing with your life? Like they were supportive of like what I wanted to do, but then they kept questioning me because um, are you really serious about what you want to do with this and that? And I think that made me more you know what, I wanted to do more because now I wanted to like even tell my family. I wanted to start it from my family that like how important is, it's not shoe that we're gonna sell, it's the story behind the shoes. It's something that we need to preserve, we need to promote. So like I think that kept on going in my head, like if I can convince my friends and my family and along with that my community, then I think Doja is gonna set is gonna be a trendsetter, not in terms of style and comfort, but also in terms of like art and culture. So like that was another thing, like wanting to change the mindset of people. Other than that, like if we talk about the recent challenges during pandemic, it was very difficult for us to it was very difficult for us to like keep on going because it was back in 2000. I don't remember exact date, like somewhere around March to 2020. Like Nepal was in complete shutdown, and like until the end of 2020, we were doing, like we were working on the brands and everything. That was all in the back end. But then like in terms of business, we had a massive breakdown. Like we just sold. So we were already hitting like monthly 500 pairs, but then during the pandemic, during those timeline of like March to the end of 2020, we just sold like I don't know, somewhere around 20 pairs only throughout the year. That was challenging, but then we still had to keep on going, and we wanted to support the artisans as well, like the people we were working with. We could not like just cut them off because we were not doing well. So like we literally had one-on-one sessions with our craftsmen, like if because we have like 20 men and women employed in our facility, and 70% are women, and like 20% come from marginalized communities. So like they, we want to like have them do better with their economy as well. So like we sat with them, and like we were we we were scared by ourselves, but like we had to boost their confidence, like this is gonna end, everything that. But then like we indigenous people, we have resilience in ourselves, right? So like that came into power. I would say like that resilient, how the way we how resilient we are. like that came into power, and we were like, okay, we're not gonna panic. We're just gonna do what we're doing, and don't worry about your payments, like monthly payments. We'll try to keep it going as usual, but then like we will work more harder on the construction. We would work more harder on creating the brand that we wanted to create, and it was all about strategy, trainings, and everything all the time. So like I think it worked out pretty well, I would say, post pandemic. Now as Jal said, like economy is rising. We can see our consumer having more purchasing power, which is good for us, because see, at the end of the day, if we don't sell our product, how are we going to support our artisans? How are we going to support our craftsmen? And how are we going to keep this business running? So I think now I'm pretty hopeful that like this pandemic is coming to an end. I hope so.
Yeah, I hope so. Yeah, what about Jal? What challenges did you overcome at the very beginning of your journey?
Yeah, I think as a social entrepreneur, it's pretty much the same experience as what Doccha experienced. COVID-19 really turned our lives upside down. Even big companies are shutting down. So how much more with the small social enterprises, small businesses. But to answer the question, when it comes to the challenges, I think like 50% of the challenge is within me personally, because when COVID hit, I was actually dealing with anxieties, and a lot of things are happening. So I was not able to like develop more products. And like Doccha, we were not that selling much with our products. And another thing is that I actually, as what I think I've mentioned before, that I actually established a like pop-up store, which eventually did not push through. It actually lasted for about 2 months because of the series of lockdowns in our area. So people don't want to buy in a physical store because they don't want to be infected with COVID-19, and all businesses shifted to online. And here we are shifting to offline because we just want to have a showroom so that people could see the product and patronage it, because at the very first place, patronage is a problem in the community. One of the reasons why I'm doing this is to promote the products and to show people that we have this story, another side of story aside from Marawi Siege. And I thought, how can people, other people outside Marawi City patronize our products if we as Maranaos, we are not patronizing it. That's why I established a pop-up store, which didn't eventually push through. But then again, I realized that those are actually challenges that are inevitable. And what really matters is how you rise up and how you cope up and deal with the problem. So that's pretty much the challenges that we encountered. What else? I actually listed here. Yeah. And also another thing is that I'm not a full time in my business. I do also my job because I'm a breadwinner. I need to do extra jobs for me to support my family too. And yeah, it's really a challenge in the beginning. So I suggest, if you really want to do a social enterprise, you need to like balance it and make sure that you are not just doing it half baked, because it's really gonna impact your project, which actually did happen in my social enterprise. But again, I told you that you have I go back to the reason why I started this, and as long as I can see impact, and I will forever be happy to do it. So those are the challenges that we encounter. Pretty much like with Doccha, the COVID, you are such a
But
mess.
yeah, like we did quite well with the crowdfunding. Like it was, had it not because like pandemic taught us to like made us want to do crowdfunding. Like I don't know if it was the same in your case. Like the
Well,
crowdfunding
Dikesh,
campaign.
tell me more about the crowdfunding you are talking about.
Oh yeah,
So
we
yeah,
did we did
so
crowdfunding.
yeah, exactly.
Yeah,
So
with
what
start.
we thanks to
Oh,
UNGP,
what a
thanks to
coincidence.
Useful Lab, that like they reached us. They were like constantly in reach with us. Like with me, I'm gonna talk about Doccha. Like Chad is gonna talk about Aretes Style. So yeah, they kept on like constantly. They were in reach. Like, how you guys doing? Like, it was so good of them to like constantly reaching out to us, and that's the time when we were talking about how we are trying to read a brand, like we're working on the branding strategy, we're working on the marketing strategy once the pandemic is there and everything. And then like our team in Youth Collab, they proposed us with the plan of like, how about you guys do crowdfunding? I think that's gonna at least help you guys with whatever funds that you collect from the campaign. You can actually have your product running, or like you can actually support the artisans with the money. So like I think that was a good idea. And this product is the yeah, this product is, yeah, we introduced this espadrilles, our Doccha espadrilles, with the crowdfunding campaign, and it went pretty well. Like I was quite surprised. Like I wasn't confident about like how we're gonna, because it was very new to us. Like thanks to Patch, he's from like Spark Project. He's the founder. Yeah, like he really helped us with setting up the platform. The Youth Collab were doing the same, and then we did like we it was just like 45 days of the timeline was for 45 days. We actually hit the goal in within a month. Yeah, I think, yeah. Wow. And we raised a little more than what we targeted for, but that's okay. Like we could not reach the ultimate $6,000 goal, but we did cross the 3,000 goal. So like all the funds were secured, and it did help us. And but then, like, you know what, as I said, the pandemic effect is still here. Like the shipping costs went like skyrocketed. Like it went so expensive. We're still like lagging behind on like shipping few of the products from like those who ordered from the crowdfunding project. We still have to deliver a few, but then like we're communicating with them. They're okay. They understand it. But then yeah, crowdfunding was fun. It helped us to like support our artists, and it did.
Yeah, that's amazing. Yeah. That's amazing. So, knowing about the crowdfunding and all the amazing thing you are doing, it's really so inspiring. I guess all the newcomers in this entrepreneurship journey, they will be loving your ideas and your strategies, how you are doing your business in your own respective countries. I really want to know more about your uniqueness and the secret in your business or your brand. What is the secret that makes you successful in this very young age?
Are we supposed to say that because it's a secret? I'm just kidding. I'm just trying to be witty, but yeah, what's the secret? You mean the secret ingredient? As to Aretes Style, as what I've mentioned, you really need to start with your why. Why are you doing that? Why are you pushing through for a social enterprise? Why are you the why? Everything why? Because that's gonna give you a sense of purpose. And if you like bring it along the way, you'll never go wrong, or you will never be in a path that you are not meant to be in. So yeah, that's really something that I still hold on to. Your why, and you really have to like revisit your intention, and always revisit your intention, because in Aretes Style, because it's actually very hard, like doing it for you it's a business, so you have to like to have sales and everything. And it's really important that you do not fall in love with the sales. Like for example, it's kind of can be overwhelming, but make sure that you were not forgetting your intention. Why are you starting, or why are you pushing through for the enterprise? So yeah, for me is the secret ingredient is your why, and that's gonna just gonna fuel you to do more and will give you a sense of purpose, because at the end of the day, it's not going to be meaningful if it just benefits yourself. So, and another thing, working with Aretes Style, it really changed or recalibrated my definition of success. Like way back before, my definition of success is really to get a high paying job, to graduate, or to become wealthy. That's a typical definition of what success mean in the society. But working with the Aretes Style, it recalibrated, and now my definition of success is when you can make an impact to other people, the community, and the planet. That's success, because it's not going to be success if the only person that benefits from it is yourself. And it's a life changing experience for me working with Aretes Style, and at the same time, it gave my life a meaning.
Wow.
Ah,
Wow.
exactly.
Well,
I could just cry right now.
I cried a
well,
lot of times, so yeah, there's no more tears to cry.
Yeah.
but yeah, to be very honest, it was like really, magic thing that I want to hear more from you, Jel. Well,
Exactly.
for we already learned from Dikesh that he's not from the business background, and at the very beginning, he also faced some challenges from his own family as well. How about you,
Yeah,
Jal? You also face this kind of challenges from family and
I
society?
did. I did. Like, but I didn't care really, because there's really, like, in our community, if you'll be given a chance to go in Marawi City, the first thing that you would notice are tarpaulins, or like posters of people. A lot of people, like when you pass a board exam, like a teacher licensure exam, or you became a doctor, you will see your face printed in tarpaulin everywhere, almost everywhere, because we so much value education and achievements, to the point that yeah, we make a lot of tarpaulins in the community, and that's kind of became a standard for you to be successful. Like, if you want to be successful, you need to be a doctor, you need to be a lawyer, you need to be an engineer. But um I really saw that it's, for me, joining empowerment programs, I saw that it's not the definition of success. I could be successful doing a social enterprise, because success is relative. And um, my mother really wants to me a lot to be a lawyer. She wants me to enroll in law school, but it's not just kind of, it's not my thing. So it's not gonna be fulfilling if I do it. If I'll do it for my mother, not for myself. So but yeah, I did great in school. I finished international relations, and now I'm doing social enterprise, because yeah, I have my own definition of success. And my mother is not just vocal, but she's supportive. At first, it was really challenging. What can you do? I mean, what can you get from creating aretes, or creating earrings, or creating out of langkit? Because as what I mentioned, there's really a lack of patronage when it comes to our local products. There's really a low, we see it so lowly. And yeah, it was quite really challenging to step up. But when my mother saw that I'm doing it for the community, and I can, I'm doing an impact for the community, she realized that, okay, that I will no longer um push you through to something that you don't really want. So yeah, to begin with, I didn't really care about that, because I have my own definition of success. So, but it's challenging. It's really challenging. But
Yeah,
action speaks louder than words. So
true, true, very true. So I'm just curious to know about, do you guys regret of anything in your life? I mean, what do you wish you could have done differently?
It's really a tough question. But Dikesh, if you want to go ahead, because I don't think I have answered.
So I don't know. I wished I had woken up a little early. Like I wish I did not wait until like earthquake, like to realize how like preserving culture was necessary. Like when Jal said like the motivation or like the secret ingredient of his enterprise is working on why. My why actually evolved as I started working with Doccha. The more firmly I believed in the things that I did. I hope. I just wished if I could like understand what my passion was like quite early in my school days. Maybe I would have gone to a different educational background. Maybe. But then like whatever happens for good, right? Like even like my whatever I've learned, I can actually imply into my business as well. So there's no actually regret, but it's just like I wish I could have started this a little earlier, just to like let people know that continuing with the culture, knowing your roots is important because that's your identity. That's what we actually wanted to let people know through our stories from the shoe. Now, apart from that, I think I don't know, like what would I have done differently? Maybe uh, have like some expert advisories like involved with our team quite early. Maybe I don't know because that have proven to be quite helpful for us. Like trying to know more about the business side of the thing. Like we're still learning. See, like we keep on learning. It's not gonna happen like overnight. Like now I can just like sit back and okay, now I've set up Doccha. Like now it's gonna run on its own. No, we'll be working a lot every day, every year. Like we'll try to aim more higher goals. So I think it's a learning process and it will keep on going. And like I don't think you need to regret on like anything. You just need to reflect and like not repeat the mistake and like just share your experience like the way we're doing right now and learn from others' experience and just keep on going. I don't think like I would want to change anything because as I said, like it's just like it just happens for a good reason. So I don't think I don't know if I answered the question correctly, but then like this is what I feel.
I think you answered correctly because we all, are in the process of learning. And we just have to realize the essence of life, and you're exactly doing the same
So
thing.
exactly, I'm the kind of person like who doesn't want to like keep on holding to things like wish I had done this, wish I had done that. I would rather want to work on like if I had the chance, would I do it differently? Yes. So I just keep on working differently the other day rather than regretting about yesterday because you're just gonna remain wherever you are if you keep on regretting. So what you learn from your mistake is just like not gonna repeat. I think that's the mindset we all need to have in terms of entrepreneurship. I think that's what I learned.
That's the most important thing I think we all should
Yeah.
do. That we should not regret actually about our past.
Because like we keep on experimenting. We as entrepreneurs we keep on experimenting, and then like you cannot like regret on like wish I had done this differently or like because that's just gonna be your learning experience, and you're just gonna do things differently next time. So like I think that's something if you aspire to be an entrepreneur, that's something you need to have. Like you need to be very quick with your decision making. You need to be very quick with your skills with rectifying your earlier mistake rather than regretting it. Like you just rectify it. Like just go ahead. Like just keep on leading.
Yeah, that's true. How about Jal?
Yeah, I just actually realized the answer when when Doccha when Dikesh talking about his own insight, but I would say also that there are moments that I feel like I didn't like give my all, my 100% effort to something, not just actually in my social enterprise, but in both professional and personal life, but pretty much on the social in my advocacy or in my business. Because what Dikesh said a while ago, that it's really kind of process. So problems, and you will encounter a lot of it, like challenges, and you would question yourself, did you give your 100% effort? And sometimes there are moments that I feel like I could have done better. Mhm. I could have gave my 100% effort, because what you really plan is, that's exactly what you're gonna harvest. So I feel like there are moments that I could have exerted more effort, that would have have a impact on that kind of um, scenario, or in my professional or personal life, or in my business. So yeah, but it's a normal thing.
But then, Jal, isn't it is the same feeling, is the same belief that keeps you running, right? Like you want to do better the next day.
Yep.
So like I pretty much, like, I'm sure like Chandra is the same with your case, right? Like in Hill Tech Resource Center also, like you guys, like I'm sure I think like this is something we need to talk about. Like uh we make a lot of mistake as entrepreneurs in the first, like it's
Very
always experience and everything, and we cannot like hold, and like we cannot just like keep regretting and like just thinking about what could have done better, but then act as promptly as you can. So I think
Exactly.
we all well, there's this saying, there's this very popular in our community, that like when you're at the later stage of your life, it's not that you don't regret what you've done, you regret what you didn't do. So like, you know what, we entrepreneurs try to take everything. So like I think at the end of the day we're like happy, and where we can sleep well and thinking about like, oh yeah, I actually am doing something to contribute towards the community that we're working with. Or like I think like that sense of what do you say, happiness is something else. So you just keep on like
all
want
about
to
the Yeah, I think it's all about the realization, right? That we
Mhm.
realize that we need to do more, we need to do it far better than this, than past, than yesterday. And
Yep.
this fascination, about making something, doing something perfect, that's actually want us all the time. That's the most important thing we need to do, not regret and still stuck in the past. Yeah, that was
Yeah.
really inspiring to
Yeah,
know
Dikesh.
both of your
You really,
feelings and realization.
mhm.
Yeah,
Because you really made an important point. Like, we will along the way, you will commit a lot of mistakes, but what's really important is you don't take those mistakes for granted.
exactly, and like small and slow gradual progress is still better than like
Yep.
you being stagnant, and like you're thinking
Yep.
about
that's all
you're
the
thinking
time.
about the mistake, all the flaws that
Yeah.
you need to reflect your mistakes, but like understanding not to repeat it again, or
Yep.
like do it
Yep.
better the next time.
Yep.
Very true.
Small progress is still progress.
Yeah,
Exactly.
yeah, definitely. I think, I mean, we should actually value all these small steps. Yeah.
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 I think all the successful people over there, they all took all
Celebrate
they all
small
started
wins.
actually with the small steps.
Yeah,
Yeah.
exactly. I keep on telling you and Jal the same thing. You don't be hard on yourself. Like don't like, because we work so hard. So like these kind of regrets, don't keep it to your heart. Like don't be hard on yourself. Like we are doing as much as we want and we can. So like it's okay.
Yeah.
Yep.
You
Yep.
just need to you just need to have like the why are you doing the things that you do in your mind, and like, you know what, you're when your heart is at right place, everything is working smoothly, everything works smoothly.
exactly. I think you both already talk about the, guidance, I would say, for the newcomers, and it will really, it will be helpful for the newcomers. Well, I can resist myself, to know more about, products, and I can see so many products with you. Okay.
Again, this
So
is
one thing.
all intentional. Yeah, exactly. This is all intentional. We wanted to like introduce our product as well. Like these aren't all of what we have at Doccha, but then like these are a few of our new designs and products, like which I wished we were like online and I could have like not online. We are online. Like I wish we could like do this session face to face so that you could actually feel it and see and like
touch it,
get yeah. Yes.
We'll definitely do that. Well, now I'd like you both to pick one of your products and describe or define your brand in 3 words.
Okay,
I'm really bad at this, so just a disclaimer, I'm really bad at
you're
doing this.
You're doing great.
So I put it like, you've seen this in person now. I've also seen, but not the bags. I just saw the shoes, Dikesh, when we were in Thailand. But yeah, you usually saw my earrings. These are my earrings. So I just choose one. How am I going to describe it in 3 words? Okay, 3 words for this. These are actually earrings, and I call it snang. So that's already one. And then
what's the meaning of
snang, senang is a Maranao word which means shine, and it's also synonymous to hope or light. So that's already 4 words.
Wow.
Ooh, you did it quite well.
Okay, Dikesh, your turn.
I'm just gonna grab
the black
shoe itself. Right.
Okay.
Let me go again. Number 1 would be authentic because of the stories, the community that it represents, and then the stories that come from the community. Second one would be empower because we want to achieve the UN's sustainable goal number 8 of giving decent job and employment to people. And third word would be empathetic or creative, or I think that would be other word.
I can see all the words that you use in your product.
Those are powerful words.
I'm really inspired to see both of your products and the
Me
story.
too.
Yeah, love for you.
I'm-
Dikesh and Jal, both of you and most of the indigenous entrepreneurs, they use or utilize indigenous people's knowledge and the natural resources or anything that comes from the indigenous culture. How do you see that the business and human rights and indigenous people's rights?
Maybe I can go first.
Yeah, sure.
Well, in my part, it's even in the Philippines, Ranaos or the Moros or because Muslims are a minority in the Philippines, as well as the tribe of Maranaos, and we are oftentimes misrepresented in the national level. There's really a misrepresentation, even in the government seats. You would see few people coming from our place. So that's something that is a gap already that I wanna somehow contribute in addressing. So I feel like wearing it is always, it's not just actually it's not just it's not just because I want to wear it because it's beautiful, but because it's always it's a voice. It's always an opportunity to have a conversation about to have a discourse about my community, about myself, or about the tribe that I belong, and discuss what are the gaps in or the necessary discourse. Like if I wear it in an event, people would appreciate it, and it's an opportunity for me to tell the story where I'm coming from, and to have a discourse on it. So it's always like, it's like I said, it's a voice, and also always an opportunity to tell my story. That's why I feel like I feel like very honored if I wear it in national events, because people would usually or commonly ask, what are those? Your coat is beautiful. So it's an opportunity for me to tell my story.
That's really nice, Jal. You were not just, telling the stories of your company or your own brand. You are telling the story of the whole, your indigenous community. That's really amazing.
Yeah,
Um,
yeah.
what do you think, Dikesh, that indigenous?
Yeah, just like what Jal said, I just want to add a few more things. Like, see, the reason why we need to talk about indigenous rights, indigenous community, indigenous knowledge is that you just need to like talking about this is gonna come. This gonna talking about it, like presenting it in a creative way where people can actually see it. Like as Jal said, like wearing it on the public event, it's just gonna highlight um, more about our culture. And like to introduce, to promote a culture is to like share your story and to learn from others as well, so that you actually respect each other, like to create the mutual respect and mutual bond with one another. And you know what, like if you go back to the history where in past, like our indigenous community, how indigenous communities has been like politically and socially oppressed, and like economically um displaced, so many, like even like they've been displaced from so many from their own land. Like you know what, like those we keep on if we keep on sharing these stories, if we keep on putting those stories with our product, it will bring things in highlight to like the mass population, where they need to realize, they need to understand, like whatever you read in your textbook in terms of history is not the full truth. You need to see the other side of the story as well. And like as you know, histories are written by powerful people in the in the past, and like the powerless voice has always remained very like not in the mainstream. So like bringing these voices in the mainstream is our is Doccha Aretes Style's like main motive, like bringing those narratives. Like even now we're working with artist community where we're working on our designs, where we talk about few stories that are not heard, like that those untold stories of indigenous communities. And like there've been many times like, why do we keep on saying culture to art? And because that's what we are. You need to know your roots well to have your personal identity, so that like, because if you don't have your own identity, what's the point of like um you know what I mean? I just cannot put into good words, but when you don't have like your own identity, it's useless. Like, and this is what Doccha does. Like, we try to embody our identity through shoes, through accessories, in your daily using accessories, where we embed this culture and everything with cultural fabric, just to let people know that it is important to respect. And I think I'm keep on repeating the same thing,
You
I think.
expressed, all the most important things already. And as Jal was saying, that it's a voice. It's not about just selling the products. It's the voice of the community, as well as to protecting, preserving, and also promoting the indigenous people's culture.
Exactly. And these stories, these voices are not heard enough. So like, just to have the conversation starter also, like we can like I'm sure, like Jal, you've experienced this in your social events as well. When you're wearing the jacket outer, they come to you and say like, wow, like now
Yep.
you, when you said like it's a conversation starter, and it needs to be out there, because these are not things that is talked about most of the time. Yeah, like I don't know about in your home country, but like when there's like tourism year or like anything, where when we attract tourists in our country, our there's this like they show the exotic wear traditional attire of our indigenous community just to attract. But then we're not here for just for the show. We want to like there's like there's so many things like even like if we talk about indigenous knowledges, indigenous skills, intergenerational skills, like they had a meaning to it. And if only people cared to understand all these indigenous knowledge and like indigenous skills, you would have we would not be facing so many problems that we're facing at this present situation. Our communities has been collecting collecting information through our native languages, but it's just like we have like we indigenous people like our ancestors use observing power and everything rather than the we have this traditional knowledge, right? It's not like it's not in the form of science, and like it's not academic researches, so like it's not valued. So just to let people know more about like this culture, this knowledge should be valued, and like
Yep.
it can actually help in so many different ways. Like you talk about climate, you talk about the diseases, or like you know what, there are so many things you can learn from each other's each other's culture knowledge. So I think that is the motive, like why we indigenous entrepreneurs have to come forward and like try to put your indigenous knowledge skills into your work so that it's out there and like it's open to mass who is like who don't have like who needs to get like the light shed on.
Yeah.
You know what I mean, right?
You just mentioned about the recognition, right? That we don't have that recognition by our own government about indigenous people's knowledge and culture. So, do you think that the indigenous entrepreneurs, especially young entrepreneurs, do you think that they can play a vital role in promoting or to have that recognition for their unstructured or unwritten traditional knowledge and the customary practices? What do you think?
It's like it's not Gary Chandra, I think like it's not about like if we are capable of doing it, it's about doing it already. Because if you're not gonna like if our like our grandfather generation is gone, all the indigenous knowledge is going to go with them. So I think this is the right time, and this is the high time that we start collecting all this indigenous knowledge, start like archiving them, documenting them, so that we can pass this on to the future generation. And also like um, as I said, we need to keep talking about it so that like it's like people understand it. So it's not about if we are capable. It's like it's high time that we come out and open in this mainstream population to talk more about your culture. So if you're not gonna do it today, like there's gonna be very less tomorrow to preserve or conserve your culture. So I think it's high time we do that. Like any opportunity you get, you need to start promoting what you're doing, because at the end of the day, it's this it's our community story that needs to be heard. Is the knowledge, is the traditional knowledge, is the art, it's the skills that we need to share with people so that they understand that where like our ancestors has been doing so many things in the past for the welfare of our environment, for the community. We were so different from the we think our ancestor, and we think very differently from what this capitalistic approach is. Like we need to bring our community and people together. So I think that's the way you want to retain humanity and peace. So I think it needs to be done. It's not like can we or cannot. It's essential. It's important that we do this.
Yeah. Yeah, you said very well. It's
I
important.
think that's how I feel, and that's how I am working every day. I really feel the urge to like let people know what we stand for, what our community stands for, and it's not just like we all share the same values, right? We indigenous people, and I want like people to know like I want to learn more about your Manao community, your
Aura.
I'm so sorry. Yeah, from your community, Tripura. See, like it's the way you actually share your value, and in future, if you talk about Doja, in future, we would want like we don't want to get restricted with like communities of Nepal only. Okay? We want to go regional. We want to go global. We want to talk about. I hope like we get to talk about a lot of stories like that's unheard and untold. Like leave alone Nepal, but then like everywhere they have so many stories, and I think that needs to be heard and that needs to be told.
Yeah, true. So, what do you think that all the indigenous young entrepreneurs need to do to become a one strong voice to protect the indigenous people's culture and promote, and also to raise voice against this cultural appropriation around the world?
Uh, Jalu, would you like to shed some light on it, or like?
Okay. Actually, you've said everything, Dikesh, but I just wanna add. Yeah, that's it. That's true. But I just wanna add that, it's one way of doing that is to innovate, and what we are doing in our social enterprise is a kind of innovation. Because, like for example, in the case of Aretes, who would have thought that I could create, or we could create earrings, beautiful earrings out of langkit, and langkit is just being ignored before, and right now it's become a trend. When you attend an event, you need to wear something that would represent your identity. So innovation is a key. And another thing, why is it important? It's because it's a form of, like, it's a sort of like showing to the world or to the local authorities that we care about our identity. Our culture, our arts are parts of our identity. So if it's gonna be extinct, a part of our identity would be missing too. So it's like a way of showing to the local authorities, or people should be concerned about it, that we care. We care to preserve our identity, and we care that the future generation would have the same experience that we have right now, the same love to our culture, and in a way we care about giving a full identity to the future generation. So it's the key word there is um, we care.
And like just to add up to those to what you've said, Jal, like I think like to have our voices heard even louder, I think it's important like the things that we are already doing, what AIPP, AIYP is doing, the regional like there are so many indigenous community organizations in the world. Like we have to come as one, and like we have to have this forum and we talk about this more. We need to actually have workshops more. We need to actually maybe like for like better participation of the youth, like work accordingly, like to grab their attention, because nowadays these modern youth are like so like they have so much distraction, to call it social media, or like they're on their own, and whatever they hear and see, they start believing. So like we need to come up with innovative ideas about how to grab their attention, and like how to engage them with this kind of necessary information for us to like because those generation are the ones to like have this things take forward. So I think we need to work more on like how to engage youth them together in
Yeah,
in one particular space, and work more
I
towards
super
like
agree.
continue with what we yeah.
Yeah,
That's
I
true.
super agree. And in the case of, like, here in the Philippines, it's quiet. It can be so dangerous to be a activist, but the danger should never be a hindrance or should never silence you to speak up. And my point is there are actually a lot of ways as to how can our voice be heard, be part of, policy making maybe, or, push your local authorities to do something in
Exactly. We
those
need to have the global
areas.
and local artists involved as well, because when they are like with us, I think whatever we're trying to say is validated, and like more people, the outreach is more if the involvement of government and local authorities is there.
Yeah, yeah.
Exactly, that's the spirit we all should have, I guess. And the movement should not be, it does not be necessarily to be come from the activism side only. I strongly believe that you can contribute whatever profession you have, whatever you do, or wherever you are from. You can contribute, according to your own capacity and your own choices. So you can contribute. If you are a singer, you can contribute through your singing. If you are a dancer, you can contribute through your dancing. And if you are an entrepreneur, definitely you can contribute in many ways. And we all actually need simultaneous processes, and all the all the initiatives need to be taken at the same time, I believe, to make our indigenous peoples movement more stronger and strengthen and act as one voice and be one actually. And also, I strongly believe that we all indigenous communities around the world, we strongly believe on this we term. We never think only about ourselves, right? We have these indigenous values to talk about and to think about, and also to do collectively. So collaboration, partnerships, all these things actually our ancestors have been practicing it for centuries, right? It's not a new thing that we learn from it just from the SDGs or other, development theories. So we indigenous communities, we have been following it for centuries. Our ancestors. Yeah, exactly. So I think we just need to revive, and we just need to practice or keep practicing or following all our indigenous people's norms and values. And we should reflect and reunite or bring it in a new way, with, of course, in a creative and innovative way. And of course, through Dikesh, Doccha, and Jal's, brand. And yeah, we will definitely reach to our, expect results that we all indigenous peoples, not just the activists, all the indigenous individuals, we always aim for, desire for. So you already mentioned so many things need to do for an indigenous entrepreneurs, but still I would like to ask you good or maybe some advice for the newcomers, for the people, for the young indigenous individuals who want to be entrepreneur near future. Yeah, Dikesh.
I would say, like, for everyone, for anyone who wants to do their own business, is like never be afraid of failure. Like, that's how you learn. And then, like, try to dream big, because only if you dream big you will reach somewhere. And never settle for less, and be true to yourself. Do not forget your roots. Stay in touch with the culture as much as you can, and learn from people around you. Yeah, I think that's my message to the aspiring entrepreneurs, I believe.
We all have to remember our roots and have to get back to our roots. Well, Jal, what about you? What's the advice you'd like?
Yeah, I think my only advice. I actually learned a lot from you, Dikesh, with that. But as for me, recognizing that everything takes time, and there's no success, there's no one night success. Like you really have to work hard on it, and recognizing the fact that it's gonna take time, it's gonna take process, and along the way you will encounter a lot of challenges. And by recognizing that, you actually get to move forward. And yeah, nothing worth it ever comes easy.
Exactly.
Great, great. I really learned so many things, not just your stories, but also your perspectives, how you see Indigenous people's knowledge, values, and our culture, and how you are promoting this culture to keep our existence alive and culture, of course. We're at the end of our today's podcast. Thank you so much for joining me today and making this evening so lovely and worthwhile. I'm pretty sure that our audience gonna love your inspiring stories and learn so many things from your sharings as I did. I'd like to request both of you to say a few last words for our audience and tell them about your in social media platforms, how they can find you in social media. Let's start with Dikesh and then Jal.
First thing first, like thank you so much for having us. Like I really had a blast. I really enjoyed talking. I always enjoy talking to you guys, and like, but then to do it like in the form of podcast, so that like we can reach out to more youths and more people and get to share our experiences. Like it's a privilege to me. Thank you so much. First thing first, and then yeah, about myself, like you can find Doccha online through the website www.dochaa.com. It's on in Facebook and in Instagram. It's doccha.nepal, and yeah, I think that's about it. Like we're on Facebook and Instagram.
Yeah, thank you, Dikesh. Jal, would you like to
Yep.
say something for the last time to our audience?
Yeah, I would also
How
like
can,
to take this.
how can our audience find you in social media?
Yeah, I would like also to take this as an opportunity to express my sincerest gratitude to Chandra for organizing this. I actually learned so much from Dikesh and from you and from this activity, and I think it would be very useful later on. So yeah, as to the how can you connect with us, we're also operating via Facebook and Instagram. We at Aretes Style, both on Facebook and Instagram, and I hope we were able to contribute something, and our audience would somehow get to learn from our story.
Thanks again, guys, for joining me. I am so moved by your words. And dear audience, thank you so much for watching us and stay tuned with Indigenous Youth Entrepreneurs Cafe and Hilizo Center for more episodes. Bye.